You ever notice how two people can make basically the same amount of money, start with the same $5,000, and somehow end up in completely different financial lives a few years later? One person feels like they're finally getting ahead. The other still feels stuck, even though on paper they didn't do anything obviously ridiculous. That's the part that gets people. Nobody thinks they're making the wrong move when they first get a little extra money. It usually feels smart enough, reasonable enough. Maybe you save it for a bit. Maybe you toss some into stocks you heard about online. Maybe you keep waiting because you don't want to mess it up. And honestly, I think about this stuff way too much. My name is Threk, and I spend an unreasonable amount of time thinking about money, investing, and why some people quietly turn small amounts into momentum while other people stay frozen, stressed, or weirdly overconfident after watching 3 finance videos and a podcast clip. Because your first $5,000 is not just money, it's a decision-making test. And if you understand what that money is actually supposed to do for you, you stop treating it like a lottery ticket and start treating it like the first brick in something solid. That's where the same income, different outcomes thing really begins. It's usually not income that creates the split at first, it's behavior. One person uses their first $5,000 to build a system. The other uses it to chase a feeling, excitement, urgency, proof, the fantasy of getting ahead fast. And look, I get it. The idea of turning $5,000 into something dramatic is extremely appealing. It's way more fun than hearing, "Be patient and buy boring stuff." Nobody wants their financial future to sound like steamed vegetables. But boring is underrated, especially at the beginning. The first thing your first $5,000 should do is make you less fragile. That's not the sexy answer, I know, but it's the answer that changes outcomes. If you're carrying high-interest credit card debt or you have no emergency cushion at all, then dumping all $5,000 into investments while your financial house is on fire is not really investing. It's more like decorating the living room while smoke is coming from the kitchen. So before you invest $1, ask one question: is this money going to grow, or is it going to protect me first? Sometimes the best use of your first $5,000 is split. Maybe part of it goes to kill toxic debt. Maybe part of it becomes a starter emergency fund. And then, yes, part of it gets invested. That's not boring because you failed to go all in. That's smart because you built stability and growth at the same time. Now, let's say you've handled the urgent stuff, or at least you're not in financial freefall. Then what? This is where most people overcomplicate things. They think investing their first $5,000 means they need to become a part-time analyst in a hoodie, staring at charts like they're decoding a government secret. But for most people, the best move is not complexity. It's direction. Your first $5,000 should usually go into simple, diversified investments, broad index funds, retirement accounts if available, tax-advantaged accounts if you qualify, things that do not require you to be brilliant every Tuesday. The goal is not to prove you're clever. The goal is to own productive assets and let time do some heavy lifting. And this matters because two people with the same income can have wildly different outcomes depending on whether their money gets scattered or organized. Picture person A and person B. Same salary, same $5,000. Person A keeps waiting for the perfect entry point, gets nervous, buys a little of one trendy stock, sells it when it dips, leaves some cash sitting around, and tells themselves they're learning, which, okay, maybe. Painfully. Person B opens the right account, buys a low-cost diversified fund, sets up automatic contributions, and then mostly gets on with life. Guess which one usually wins? Not the one with the better opinions, the one with the better system. That's the weird thing about investing. At the beginning, your first big edge is not return, it's consistency. Your first $5,000 matters less because of the amount and more because it teaches you what kind of investor you're becoming. Are you building habits or are you building drama? Because drama feels productive for a while, then it gets expensive. Another mistake people make is treating the first $5,000 like it has to change their whole life immediately. It doesn't. It probably won't. And that's okay. The job of your first $5,000 is not to make you rich overnight. The job is to put you on the right side of compounding and identity. Once you become someone who invests intelligently, regularly, and without panicking every time the market sneezes, everything after that gets easier. That's why I'd think about your first $5,000 in layers. First, remove anything financially toxic. Second, create a little breathing room. Third, put the rest into simple, long-term investments. Fourth, and this part really matters, set up the next contribution before the excitement fades. Because the real danger is acting like the first $5,000 was the whole game. It's not. It's the opening move. If you invest $5,000 well and then never invest again, you didn't build a strategy, you just had a moment. But if that first $5,000 becomes the thing that changes your monthly behavior, now we're talking. Now you're creating a different future from someone earning the same paycheck but never turning intention into a system. And honestly, that's the deeper point here. Same income does not mean same outcome, because money amplifies habits faster than people realize. If your habits are impulsive, money exposes that. If your habits are thoughtful, money strengthens that too. So how should you invest your first $5,000? Use it to become sturdier first. Use it to buy diversified ownership, not excitement. Use it to build a repeatable process, not a one-time story. And most of all, use it to become the kind of person who keeps going. Because wealth usually doesn't begin with a huge windfall. It begins with a small amount of money being handled with unusual clarity. And if you can do that with your first $5,000, you're already doing something a lot of people never quite learn. You're not just investing money, you're investing in a version of yourself that finally knows what to do with it.